Good afternoon. I'm Chad Silver here with Lauren Coleman, Monique Robinson, and Stacy Spivey.
Welcome to you all watching the 4 to 5 on WFOY News 2, Fire Stick, Roku, and the WFOY News 2 app.
And we want to continue our coverage of the fertilizer plant fire in Winston-Salem, where Governor Roy Cooper urged residents to evacuate. Fire officials say the Weaver Fertilizer Plant is still at risk of exploding. They're not expecting evacuees to return to their homes tonight.
Officials still want people with respiratory problems to practice caution as clouds of smoke diminish the air quality. This video shows that hazy sky from this morning over Indiana Avenue. The Winston-Salem fire chief explained what it's going to take to allow firefighters within that 1-mile radius to fight this fire.
Looking at temperatures in various places to see if anything that's reacting is getting better or worse, or just kind of maintaining a steady state.
That analysis will determine how first responders attack this fire. Chief Mayo says if the building is on fire, that's a different situation than if a pile of ammonium nitrate is on fire. There are still many unknowns, which is why officials are stressing the importance of getting outside of that mile radius for your protection and crews.
Beginning Monday night, we have saturated the area with messaging. We have used code red messaging, we have used broadcast media, print media, social media. We've put fire trucks and police cars on the ground with public address systems to notify people. We have used the emergency alert on your cellular, on wireless devices, and I think we popped about 3,000 or 4,000 wireless devices with that mechanism. Short of going door to door, which is really not practical, we have, again, I use the term, we have saturated the area with messaging through all means to communicate to folks that it is not safe and that they need to leave.
We have got team coverage this afternoon answering several questions you might be wondering. Jenna Krzina has an update from city leaders and spoke with local businesses. Ben Briscoe is answering your top questions about this fire, and Lauren has more from West Texas after a similar situation back in 2013. Jenna, let's start with you this afternoon. It's been nearly 48 hours since this fire started. What have you learned today?
Yeah, Chad, and I don't think we can state this enough that 1-mile radius will remain in place until further notice. As we've mentioned, we had city leaders, fire officials, and the governor all out here this afternoon urging folks, if they are still in that 1-mile radius, whether it be their home or business, to get out of it and get out of it now. Now, fire and smoke is looking a bit better today in the area, but that does not mean crews are letting their guard down. The investigation is still going on, and looking into the cause of the fire is still being looked into. Fire Chief Trey Mayo shared the first 911 call did come from an employee inside the plant and says every employee has been accounted for. He also said this yesterday and again today. There was enough ammonium nitrate in that plant to be potentially the largest explosion in U.S. history. That's why if you haven't evacuated out of that 1-mile zone, you need to do it now.
48 hours we may be in a situation to allow folks back into their homes, and that is not going to happen. I don't think we're going to be there. 48 hours would be about 7 o'clock tonight. The challenge with this situation and saying it's going to be 36, 48, 72 hours a month, the challenge is having access to full information and the unpredictable nature of the chemical that we are talking about. Ammonium nitrate has a history of being unpredictable.
Governor Cooper also noted this afternoon that the state is standing by with any extra resources that city officials or firefighters need in the area. And, as the chief mentioned, we are almost 48 hours into this, but still not exactly sure when this area will be deemed safe.
Thank you, Jenna. A similar fire took place at a fertilizer plant in West Texas back in 2013. The explosion there killed more than a dozen people. Parnell McNamara is the McLennan County Sheriff in Texas. He was on the scene of the explosion in West Texas back in 2013. He tells me many lessons can be learned from how first responders in their area handled this fire.
Hindsight's 2020. Did they know it was going to blow up? Absolutely not, or they wouldn't have gone there. but the chance of this thing blowing up that y'all are dealing with is probably very high, and it's not worth the loss of life to get firefighters up there very close to it.
The Winston-Salem fire chief says there is nearly 3 times the amount of ammonium nitrate in the Weaver fire as there was in the deadly West Texas fire.
Ben Briscoe here, answering what you want to know about the fire. We're getting in so many questions about this fire and what it means for you at home. So I'm going to be answering them one by one through 6:30 tonight. First up, Amy and a bunch of other people wanted to know, why is the evacuation zone only 1 mile? The city says it is working with the EPA and other experts, and that is the best educated prediction on how far the blast zone could be. Here's how the fire chief put it today.
The experts that we have been in contact with since Monday night, and there are experts around the country who are authorities on ammonium nitrate, they are in general agreement that 1 mile is an appropriate evacuation zone.
As the day went on, people in the area may have noticed the smoke rising. That has to do with the temperatures, and meteorologist Monique Robinson explains how this works. Monique?
Yeah, certainly. So earlier today at Wake Forest, you can see the smoke completely covering our camera. And this was around 8 a.m. this morning. This is another shot I actually saw on Twitter. Someone tweeted at Wake Forest University from their dorm room. They were able to see complete haze across the area. And in fact, that is due to temperatures. Oftentimes, when temperature rises, it's supposed to get colder. So that means air above us is actually colder than what it is here at the surface. But last night, just around Wake Forest and where that fire was located, that was not the case. It was cold down below, but warm above it. That warm air trapped that cold air and didn't allow for that smoke to escape. Kind of similar if you have like a boiling pot and you put that lid on it, that lid acts like a trap and keeps that smoke inside at a lower level. So that's what we saw there. We generally call that in meteorology an inversion, where you have cold air below, warm air on top acting like a lid. Then as you go throughout the day, the temperatures get warmer and it gets windy. It mixes all the air together, and then you no longer have that split layer of warm air over cold air.
Very interesting. So not a pretty sight there. How long can we expect something like this to last? Will it carry into the nighttime?
Yeah, so we're kind of seeing that same picture can happen once again tonight, except for now we're dealing with rain. So that's going to be another factor that can kind of help to wash some of this haze out of the sky. So it's a little bit of a different picture as compared to last night, because last night we had clear skies. So tonight we're going to have clouds, we're going to have rain, so a little bit of additional factors that might not be the same picture when you wake up in the morning.
It's just unbelievable when you hear about a fire, knowing that it's impacting so many different aspects of our lives. It's good that we have you weather experts here to talk about how this impacts us from the sky as well.
And I definitely hope that the rain that we're forecasting can help this fire in some way. We're expecting rain for tomorrow and Friday, so hopefully that can help to wash out this fire.
All right. Well, there's other things to talk about in the weather, isn't there?
Yes, certainly. Like I said, we are expecting some rainfall across the area. Over the last 20 hours, we've certainly warmed our way up to the 50s. Much different story as what we saw just yesterday. And our satellite radar are picking up on some shower activity that's not too far away from us, associated with a cold front that's making its way closer and closer to the Carolinas. When I zoom in closer, areas to the west of the Triad are already seeing clouds out there. So we're going to see clouds continue to fill across our skies as we go into overnight hours. Just a look at the futurecast. This is the range starting early this morning, early tomorrow morning. So Thursday, 4 a.m. time frame, we're going to already start to hear some rain maybe early in the day. That cloud cover continuing throughout the entirety of the day. May see scattered showers as we move through the rest of your Thursday. Now, as we go into Friday, that's when the heavy rain starts to roll in. The clouds won't let up. It will still be cloudy throughout the day on Friday, but then the rain clears to start out your Saturday. Here's a look at that full 7-day. You can see those temperatures taking nearly a 20 degree, almost 30 degree drop in temperatures going from your Friday to your Saturday. So there's going to be a drastic change in temperatures as we go into the weekend. And then you can see those numbers stick around for quite a while. Those 40s are not going anywhere for at least the next 5 days thereafter. So 60s for tomorrow, warm and even very windy. I'll tell you more about the wind forecast coming up.
All right, I'm talking about a name, why they're so important.
New at 4, the Washington football team finally has a new nickname, the Washington Commanders. The name reveal comes after 2 seasons without a nickname following the removal of the Redskins. Head coach Ron Rivera explained the name change today.
When we started talking about the Commanders, my first thought was about leaders. You know, and in today's world, we seem to have a lack of true leadership, and we need people to step forward and lead this country. And it's an opportunity for us to take charge, take command, and go forward.
So many people online has something to say about the new name. So what's in a name that makes people so emotionally tied to it?
That's what Blanca Cobb, who has a master's in psychology, joins us today to talk about. Hey Blanca, why are names so important to us?
A name establishes an identity, either to a person or a thing, in this case, a team. When you give something a name, it's no longer anonymous or in obscurity. Instead, it has some importance and some meanings. That's why names are so important.
Yeah, I know that my university actually had to change their name from Arkansas State Indians when my parents went there to the Red Wolves. So I understand this and understand why people get attached to a name, but maybe explain that. Why do people get attached?
It's more than a name and the identity. It becomes what it represents, what it means, who this person or team is, what they're made of. So using the example of the Washington Commanders, and we heard Coach Rivera mention this a little bit, it's about strength and power and taking charge and leading. And so for the Washington football fans, it's a continuation of that legacy that has already been established for so many years.
Yeah, that legacy. And I'm sure it will probably take long for that new name to stick.
It can, and it depends on the person. So if someone has a strong affiliation with the Washington football team, particularly family over generations, it can be harder to let go of it versus a new fan or someone who maybe isn't a very big fan of this particular team. It could take days or weeks. But what I say is after a whole football season of that consistency and constancy of hearing the name, it's going to take much quicker for a lot of people.
The Washington Commanders. Blanca, thank you so much. And we want you to weigh in on our Facebook live stream right now. And you can also learn more about this dedication to a team name by finding this story on our website. We'll be right back.
Hey, how does this work with Monique and I both on camera 14?
There's a braking thing for you.
Okay, and then I walk in?
Yeah, once her weather gets clear, we'll go to break for 3 minutes.
Not you.
Now that 2 TV shows have portrayed characters suffering heart attacks from riding on Peloton exercise bikes, people are questioning its safety. First, in the new Sex and the City reboot, one of the characters dies from a heart attack after taking a spin class. And more recently, a character from Showtime's Billions also had a heart attack on a Peloton bike but survived. Are these exercise bikes safe? Well, we went straight to a cardiologist to verify.
Everybody should still exercise and be comfortable exercising. The benefits of exercise greatly outweigh the risk.
Dr. John Powers is a cardiologist with Novant Health. He says he's never had a patient come in with heart complications because of an exercise bike. He explains exercise can cause a slight increase in heart attacks, but the risk is very low. Actually, 21 per 1 million people that exercise have a heart attack.
There's not a specific thing that's bad or good. I encourage people to do what they enjoy so that they can do it regularly.
Dr. Powers says walking is always a great option. It's recommended to exercise 5 to 6 days a week for 30 to 45 minutes at a time. If you are working out and notice chest pain, shortness of breath, or your heart is racing, you should contact your doctor. And here are the risk factors for heart disease. Keep your weight under control, exercise, watch your cholesterol and blood pressure, and if you do smoke, quit smoking. Dr. Powers says men are more at risk for heart disease, which can lead to heart attacks. So good to know that these bikes don't directly cause heart attacks. It's interesting that this has been on multiple shows now.
Yeah, I wonder how Peloton is feeling about this.
That's
what I was going through my mind when I saw that. But I think in any situation when it comes to exercise, you just have to know your body and know when to take it slow, take it easy.
I'm just curious about a Peloton bike. I don't really know much about it. I know some people have it. Most people can't afford them because they're expensive.
They are very expensive.
But I just want to know what the benefit is versus just a regular stationary bike.
So the Peloton bike became really popular during the pandemic, obviously because a lot of gyms were shut down. This is something that you can have at home and still are connected. You can do live workouts with instructors from all across the country. Everyone can be on there at the same time. So it's like you still have that sense of community while working out, but you're safe in your home.
That's right. My sister was one of those people that bought a Peloton bike during the pandemic, and she loves it. And I believe there's like an app you can get, and you can do other things like yoga and different things of that nature. But she says it's a great investment.
It's like you're in a very elite club if you have one of those.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I'm like, you do your thing, girl.
I'm not elite enough for that, yeah.
What are we doing now? I'm new here. I don't know. Do we go to
Yeah,
weather?
I think it's weather.
Okay.
Yeah, it might be a good day to exercise inside. It's kind of chilly outside, Monique.
Yeah, it certainly is cold outside. And look at that headline, exercise inside tonight. That's for sure. I exercised inside this morning. Temperatures right now in the 50s, and we reached 50 as a high. So a lot of folks feeling that same high temperature just right now. 59 in Siler City. You guys, one of the warm spots, 53 here in Greensboro. Tomorrow, forecasting a high of 60 degrees with scattered showers, as I said earlier, and mostly cloudy skies. But the winds will be what everyone is talking about. Before I get to that, I want to show you when the rain arrives. Late, kind of early tomorrow, whatever way you see it, 3 a.m. if that's late for you or early for you, whatever you want to call it, around 3 a.m., that's when the rain's going to start. That's going to continue through most of your Thursday morning, kind of off and on scattered showers. Some folks may say, it never rained in my neighborhood. Well, that's what happens when you have scattered showers. As we go for the latter part of your Thursday, clouds continue to fill our skies. Those temperatures soaring into the 60s. And then as we go through your Friday, more rain moves in, some of which can be heavy at times. And that's going to continue through all of your Friday, off and on, heavy, dry, but the clouds sticking around. I said it wasn't going to get windy. Let's take a look at that future cast, looking at the winds. So starting out your Thursday, not a concern. Latter part of your Thursday, these winds picking up to 20 to 25 miles per hour and then staying fairly high through your Friday morning. Here's a look at that full 7-day once again for you to soak in the cold air because, hey, it's coming on back.
We are answering your questions about the fertilizer plant fire in Winston-Salem. One viewer wanted to know, are there any federal firefighting hazardous material containment resources that could be called upon? If so, how bad does it have to get before that happens? Unfortunately, the situation has already been deemed bad enough to call in backup. The EPA and federal hazmat crews both arrived on scene yesterday.
Today on U Day, Coach Lamont introduces us to Dr. Johnny Coleman and shares how her message on the power of thought will create patterns of mental success.
Dr. Johnny Coleman once said, "I am the thinker that creates the thoughts that creates the things." Your mind holds such an amazing power. You can think yourself in and out of circumstances, and you can create a new path for your life and introduce yourself to the next big idea. Everything you see in the world started as a thought that was taken serious. When you apply your mind in the direction that will empower your life, you will discover that the power to win and lose is how you start thinking. Make sure that the thoughts you are thinking on are not wasted on would've, could'ves, and should'ves, because those things will only torment you. Think on what I can do, what I will do, and what I must do. Be one with your thoughts and watch the things you create become the things that are great. This is Coach Lamont. Make today your best U Day. I'll see you tomorrow.
Hey, ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie, they forever go together like a classic combination.
Hey, where am I in this block? And will one of you please be nice enough to roll for me again?
Mic check 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Mic check 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10.
The Red Cross evacuation site, the Winston-Salem Fairgrounds, will stay open tonight, but officials tell me it hasn't been very busy.
Good afternoon. I'm Lauren Coleman here with Chad Silber, Monique Robinson, and Stacey Spivey.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching the 4 to 5 right here on WFMY News 2, Fire Stick, Roku, and of course our News 2 app for your TV, phone, or tablet.
The big story today, we are approaching 48 hours of an uncontrolled burn, creating a lot of concern and uncertainty in the city of Winston-Salem. This is a look at conditions at Wake Forest University in Winston-Salem. We've been watching this time lapse, and it's just kind of dark and gloomy, kind of an ominous look right now.
Not a good sight there. This is a look at the conditions near I-40 this morning. As the haze settled low over the city because of the colder temperatures, we've learned more about the fire after nearly 48 hours. Officials say the 911 call reporting the fire did come from an employee inside the plant. All employees have been accounted for. The cause of the fire remains under investigation. Officials continue urging caution and ask people to stay out of that 1 mile radius because of the unpredictability of ammonium nitrate.
At the beginning of this incident, there was enough ammonium nitrate on hand for this to be one of the worst explosions in U.S. history. But again, our capacity to evacuate is limited, and that's why we ask people to leave voluntarily.
Our team coverage is getting all angles of this threat. WFMY News 2's Avery Powell has touched base with Red Cross, who is offering shelter at the Winston-Salem Fairgrounds again tonight. 2 Wants to Know's Ben Briscoe is answering some of your top questions about this fire. And WFMY News 2's Marissa Tanzino is digging deeper into what families should do outside of the evacuation zone. Avery, we are starting with you. More than 6,000 people were evacuated within this zone. What do we know about available shelters out there?
The Red Cross evacuation site here at the Winston-Salem Fairgrounds will stay open tonight, but officials tell me it hasn't been very busy. Only one person stayed here overnight, and actually someone started a GoFundMe page that helped people pay for hotel rooms. Now, Wake Forest University's campus is not within that 1 mile radius, but parts of the off-campus housing are in the area. However, some students who live on campus decided it was best to leave. Taylor Shute went to her parents in Greensboro, even bringing along some of her friends.
Yeah, it's just kind of the lack of information about it has really made a lot of people pretty nervous because obviously we don't really know what we're doing. We're trying to figure out, like, can we go back? And, you have some teachers being like, hey, we'll push this back. Others are like, oh, I need this done now. And just trying to figure out everything. But, clearly we've adapted to difficult situations in the past. So I'm sure we can do it again.
Forest did cancel classes Tuesday and Wednesday, but plans to start in-person instruction Thursday. There is now a change.org petition that has been created to cancel classes for tomorrow, saying that some students live within the 1 mile radius and some have already left town, but it has more than 4,000 signatures at this time. Some students we talked with say that their professors have already canceled classes for tomorrow. Wake Forest did have on-campus housing accommodations for students who needed somewhere to go, but said they've since helped them find other housing in the meantime.
Avery, thank you. Plant leaders say 36 people work there and they are all safe and accounted for. They said the company's first concern is employee safety and making sure they have what they need. The spokesperson emphasized the company will do whatever it takes to help.
The biggest challenge we have ahead right now is keeping them safe and worrying about their jobs. We're going to continue to take care of them. We will continue to work with the community and the people who have been displaced. That's our #1 goal, is to take those who have been displaced and get them back in their homes as fast as possible.
This is a map showing what areas are inside that 1 mile evacuation zone where nearly 6,500 people were.
The plant has been in the area for nearly 80 years and is surrounded by neighborhoods. Outside of this evacuation zone, there are even more residents and businesses nearby. WFMY News 2's Marissa Tanzino spoke with some neighbors on edge and others who already packed up and left. Marissa?
Well, Stacey, despite that 1 mile radius, some living beyond it are still feeling uneasy. Some of that smoke, which you can see behind me here, although it has diminished, it is creeping into some of those neighborhoods beyond that evacuation zone, and it's making people wonder if they should go. Here's a look at some of that smoke in Winston-Salem this morning. Since then, much of it has lifted, but a haze can still be seen in some neighborhoods in the immediate area. Kimberly Campbell lives in one of those neighborhoods with a slight haze. She has asthma and for that reason is extremely concerned about the air quality and what it could do to her breathing. She's using rugs to patch up cracks in the doors in her home, and she did an interview with us from inside her house about what her plans are if it doesn't get better. Do you think it might get to a point where you're going to seriously consider leaving?
If the smoke gets closer to the house, yes. I guess just my question is, how long is this going to keep going?
Now, many hope they get answers to some of those questions soon, but others aren't sticking around to find out. I spoke with one family who was in that evacuation zone, left to get outside of it, staying with some in-laws, but still didn't feel safe enough, so they picked up and went even further. You'll hear from them coming up at 5.
And it's not just families in the evacuation zone. Ben Briscoe here answering your top questions about the fire. Mackenzie wanted to know, what does this mean for businesses within that 1 mile evacuation radius? Well, the city says plainly they should not be operating. And if you are required to go to work and you feel like you're in danger, North Carolina's Department of Labor has a form for you to fill out on their website, and they'll open an investigation.
Well, a cold front is headed to the Triad, and that means an increase of rain chances starting tonight, continuing through your Thursday as well as on your Friday. So let's take a look at the satellite radar. Currently, we're already starting to see those clouds build across our area. I'm standing outside in the weather garden where I, in fact, can barely even see a sun ray because the clouds are just blanketing our skies entirely. You can see the showers not too far away from us, making their way closer and closer to the mountains. And as we go into the late part of your night, early part of your Thursday morning, we could already start to see some scattered showers across our area. The temperature for tonight, 42. This is above that freezing point, so a warmer night across the area, and that's why we're expecting to see rain and not any other type of precipitation. Now, we did see some fog in some areas last night, and I'm expecting the same story for tonight. You can see visibility lowers to roughly 5 miles to even less than that in some areas. You can see there Burlington at 1.25 miles. So visibility decreasing tonight as that rain kind of moves in, the cloud cover, the dew points increase, kind of make for a different story. And then as we start out the day on Thursday, right around lunchtime, we're going to start to see that visibility improve. Now, the rain, like I said, moves in late tonight, continue. These are kind of light showers, though. It looks as though the heavier rain comes with the patch of rain that comes through on Friday, that big brunt of the front as it actually crosses our area. That's when the heavier rain is more likely. You can see it right here on your Friday, heavier rain and then followed by some light rain. So the 7-day, once again, for your 4 p.m. hour, I want to make sure you get to see all of it. 60s tomorrow and Friday, and then cold weather for the weekend.
All right, you know, today it's the old Groundhog Day, right? Once the guy sees a shadow, though, I'm not sure really anyone does anything to celebrate, right? Then there's Valentine's Day, right? That can be like an all-day celebration, and it's a Monday, so maybe it's going to be an all-weekend celebration, friends. And the less fanfare, President's Day. The holiday, you could save some money, I have to tell you. Even if you don't celebrate Valentine's Day, it gets costly, does it not? Like going out with friends or whatever?
Yeah, like our Galentine's Day.
I like to call it Singles Day, where I just do whatever I want and not spend money on anybody else but myself.
There you go.
I like that.
Which, I know your taste. It could be expensive.
That's true.
It could be expensive. All right. Americans spend $21.8 billion on Valentine's Day in 2021. That's actually 20% less than they spent in 2020 when folks spent $27.4 billion. Now, these numbers come from the National Retail Federation. The thinking is this year's spending will be more. So how about ways to save? Who wants to know? Checked out Consumer Reports list of best buys, and we start with phones.
We're expecting Samsung to unveil its new Galaxy S phone this month. That means you'll see prices on older models start to fall as retailers get ready to move the new models. You'll also see trade-in deals to get that new phone. You give your old phone up, you get the new phone for a lot less.
If you're looking to add yet another screen to your inventory, the Samsung Galaxy Tab 8.0 is now $128 at Best Buy. It was $150. Hey, what about snuggling up with a new mattress this month? Consumer Reports says you should never pay full price for one, especially around the holidays.
President's Day weekend is one of the best holiday weekends to shop for a mattress. You'll see some of the best discounts from all the major brands, from Casper and Tuft & Needle to Sealy and Sleep Number and everything in between.
The Tuft & Needle original mattress is a Best Buy, and the queen size is currently $895. But don't miss this. Tuft & Needle will be having a 20% sale on all of its mattresses this month, so you may be able to score this mattress for even less.
Domino's Pizza is trying something new by tipping customers who pick up their own online orders. Because of the labor shortage, Domino's is offering $3 off your next online order if you pick up your online order instead of having someone deliver it. The promo runs through May and comes ahead of the Super Bowl, which the company says is one of its busiest days of the year. No surprise here. They say they typically sell at least 2 million pizzas that day alone. And I could eat half of those.
Yeah, me too.
I think it's a good idea.
I do too. I mean, it's just even cheaper. Like they already have deals where you can get like a medium for like $8, save another $3. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you have to go out and run errands anyway, so why don't you just go and grab your pizza? I know we were talking about Valentine's Day earlier. Have y'all ever had the heart-shaped pizzas from there on Valentine's Day?
You've had a lot of love.
Yeah.
Just had a lot. I would get mine in the shape of a teardrop because I'm lonely.
No, don't say that.
Just kidding.
Favorite pizza toppings?
Chicken.
Oh. I guess I'm just like
Plain.
basic. I like the pepperoni.
I'm about as basic as they come. Pepperoni and that's it. All I need is pepperoni.
I like pepperoni, but also some jalapenos on top. Give it a little bit of, and
Well-
ranch.
Well, actually, a new survey shows more than a third of Americans hate anchovies on their pizza.
Just a third?
Just a third. Pineapple still remains one of the most hated toppings, with 32% of people saying they hate pineapples on pizza, and more than 1 in 4 don't feel jalapenos belong on pizza. Big shocker here, though. The most popular pizza topping is pepperoni.
I think people
Jalapenos belong on pizza,
But
by
the
way.
pineapple, people are just saying that. They've never actually tried it. Because
It's
when
good.
you mix it with the sweet and savory, it's fire.
I like ham and pineapple. I think that's
Okay,
what I've had
I don't-
before.
I don't like ham though.
No? Oh, okay.
I've tried the pineapple. It was a little too sweet for the occasion. Like, it wasn't bad, but I just felt like it didn't belong.
You need pineapple on other stuff. You gotta dress the whole thing up. You can't just put the scarf on. You gotta put the scarf, jacket, boots. You
Yep.
gotta make it cute.
Maybe I gotta
See,
try
I'm
it again.
agreeing with this one right here. Monique, I'm agreeing with you. I think that people are just so anti because some people love the idea of it. They don't actually know if it's good or not on a pizza. They just are anti because people love the pineapple.
Okay, but what about anchovies? I don't think I've ever even
I've
had
never even
one.
had an anchovy before, so I don't know if they belong on pizza or
But
not.
see, everybody, we reacted like, ugh, but we never did it. That's what the
Exactly.
pineapple people are doing. They're going, ugh.
Yeah,
but
they gotta
never
give
did
it a chance. So maybe we need to try anchovies.
I've never had anchovies on a pizza, but I have eaten them out of the can they come in. And it's very weird to think about, but it actually really wasn't that bad.
It's like olives.
Is it like a sardine?
Yeah, what is it? A
I
fish?
think
Yeah,
it's
like,
kind of
what
like a
we don't
sardine,
even know.
yeah.
Okay, so I've had sardines and like crackers, and those were pretty good. So maybe I like anchovies.
All right.
Let's order one.
I just want a pepperoni pizza, stuffed crust, Pizza Hut. That's all I need.
Dipped in ranch.
Right now.
Yeah, like let's just order it. Let's go to break so I can order a pizza
Right.
for dinner. I'm not sharing that.
Oh, pizza. Yum.
P-I-Z-Z.
That's led to another big question we've gotten from viewers. Is
Today is Groundhog's Day. Punxsutawney Phil woke up this morning and saw his shadow, meaning there will be 6 more weeks of winter. So I asked you, yeah, boo to that. We're booing here in the studio. But I asked you all on Facebook if you believe in his predictions. Paulette Kernodle says, no, it's just something fun. No matter how you look at it, there is still 6 more weeks of winter on the calendar. Steph Walker says, no, and I live in PA. No rodent nor meteorologist is going to change the calendars. Spring will come regardless. Joe Howlett says, no, but it's fun. Jimmy Tate, no, he's not God. And Joy Mott says, I think it's a wives' tale. He's gotten it wrong.
Tim Buckley and I talk about this every year. We would love to go up to Pennsylvania because it looks like it's kind of a big party that starts very early in the morning ahead of Punxsutawney Phil coming out of that cave there.
So is it like a whole festival type of vibe all day? Like St.
I had
Patty's?
a friend that covered it once and he said it's a huge deal. Obviously before the pandemic it would be packed. People are out there just celebrating all day, you know, with some liquid encouragement in them and just having a lot of fun.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. As I was watching the video, I was like putting a voice to the groundhog in my head, like he's sitting there like, what are you guys doing? I have no clue what's happening here.
Can I just go back to sleep?
All the cameras flashing in his face, like, let me go back to.
But do y'all believe it? Do y'all believe this, or is it just fun?
I, for so long, didn't know if you saw his shadow, was it longer winter or spring came early, so I got it cleared out today.
That was me and Chad all the last couple of days, getting confused on which way it goes.
So I believe him if it's the way that I want it.
Right.
So, you know, if he
Valid.
doesn't see his shadow and there's an early spring, then I believe him. But if it's a late spring, I don't believe him.
He gives us hope. You know,
Right,
hope for
absolutely.
Something to look forward to,
Yeah,
you're right.
yeah.
Mhm.
But I'm only happy, like what Chad said, if he says spring is on its way.
Right,
And
we better
we are-
say what we want to hear.
Yeah,
And we're
come
not
on,
happy
Phil.
with this decision.
When
He
I
is
walked
cute.
outside just now, I was like, and I had to put my coat on, I was like, dang it, you little groundhog.
Did y'all see that the groundhog in New Jersey died?
And a lot of people were saying that on my Facebook page. They were like, he died. And I was like,
Yeah.
Can we go to weather or something else? Change the
So
subject.
sad. Yeah, what does Monique
Let's go
say?
the accurate forecast, you know, the one that actually tells you what it should be like when you walk outside the door. The primary things that you need to know over the next couple of days. Here are my primary weather headlines. So Thursday into your Friday, warm, windy, and rainy at times. Now, as we go into your day on Saturday, it's just going to be cold, expecting dry temperatures. In fact, nearly a 30-degree drop in temperatures from your Friday, so a much different case. Now, the confidence on winter weather for the start of next week has certainly lowered. I know a lot of folks had big questions related to that. So over the next 3 days, this is the forecast. So Saturday, starting out your day, this should say Thursday on there. Thursday, 60 degrees, on and off rain with a chance of rain throughout the day. We're going to see mostly clouds, winds out there. Friday, it's 64 degrees is forecasting for the high. Another windy day. This is the day when you're more likely to see the heavier rain out there. And then things will die down as we get to the end of the night. Not the winds. The winds will stay fairly breezy at times, but the rain will start to die down. The clouds will start to clear as we go into your Saturday, and Saturday will certainly be a nice afternoon for winter standard. It's still going to be fairly cold out there. Like I said, nearly a 30-degree drop in temperatures, certainly a change out there. So the snow meter has transitioned to more than likely not really seeing activity. Much different story as to what we had the other day, where we thought maybe we could see a chance of some snow or wintry weather as we go into the start of next week, but it's looking more and more not likely as we go into the start of next week. That full 7-day, have a chance to show you one more time again before this 4 p.m. hour ends. So for your Thursday, 60 for the high, on and off rain. That's the main story. And then as we go into your day on Friday, those temperatures actually are going to be very warm. You see that low 55 degrees? That's a very warm low temperature. In fact, that's the temperature we felt in a lot of places today. for the high temperature. So definitely a very unseasonable forecast for the next 2 days. Now, as we go through the day on Friday, those winds fairly breezy, roughly between 25 to 30 miles per hour. Some gusts even stronger than that at times. So that rainfall will continue throughout the day on Friday. Like I said, it could be heavy at times throughout the day, but it will begin to clear as we end out the day on Friday and going into your Saturday. 29 degrees is that low temperature. The high temperature on Saturday, 43. That's even colder than what we felt today. So cold air is in the mix for Saturday, getting to see a little bit more sunshine for the afternoon. Now, Sunday, we could get to see some more clouds out there, but like I said, that winter weather likelihood is on the low end as we start out the work week next week.
Here is what you want to know about the fertilizer fire right now. One viewer asked, what happens when the evacuation zone includes a nursing home? I checked with the nursing home director today, and they said they have evacuation plans to move to other facilities. If that happens, they are prepared. It's a plan they're required to have in place by the federal government. We'll be right back.
WFOY News 2's Marissa Tanzino spoke with some people considering.
Can I grab your wheat?
Yes, it's over there.
The pink one.
Hi there, Alabama, Alaska.
Hey, where do you need me to be, friend? Why? Okay.
Hey, am I at V Homes or Touch? Okay.
Mic check, mic check, mic check. Do you hear me?
Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Hey, I hear you now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
It's time for my 2 cents. News about the massive fire burning at the Weaver Fertilizer Plant in Winston-Salem was a shock to many of us. And the past 2 days has been chaotic, especially for the thousands of people who had to leave their homes and evacuate while first responders try to get the fire under control. In a news conference, Winston-Salem Fire Chief Trey Mayo said in his 33 years of service, no fire has ever put him on edge like this one, and said if an explosion were to happen, it would be unprecedented. The stark possibility is scary to think about, and the severity of the situation may have you questioning a lot. How long will it take to put the fire out? When will it be safe for me to go back home? How will the air quality impact my health and my family? It's important that during these times we do our best to stay calm and listen to the direction of public officials. And we will continue to do our best here at News 2 to keep you updated on the latest information. Thank you to the first responders for your hard work and bravery. And thank you to everyone in the community stepping up to help those in need as residents around the plant continue to relocate. Continue to pray for those impacted by this fire and know that we will get through this together. That's my 2 cents. That's your 4 to 5. WFNY News 2 at 5 starts now.
How long is this gonna keep going?
Lots of questions tonight as a major fire burns uncontrolled for a 3rd day in Winston-Salem. Smoke has filled the air and people will have to stay away for another night.
We've got too much product, too many unknowns. So we appreciate everybody's patience, but we again strongly recommend everybody being out of that 1 mile radius around the plant.
The 3 things you need to know right now. The 1 mile evacuation radius around the plant will remain in place through the night. An explosion is still